Coach Calipari, I was sorry we didn't give them more of a look today, but I say that in a sense, I give his team a lot of credit. They ran their sets really well. I thought from watching them on film to seeing them in person, I thought they were really crisp in what they were doing, and some things that we felt like that you could do all of a sudden, and I thought the guy that really got going for him was Kevin Knox. And so I think as they continue to grow, and I know Coach talks a lot about them being the youngest team, and they are, you know, that was what I hadn't seen on film that I saw in person today. Everything they did was very sharp, very crisp offensively, and it created problems for us all over the place. And we thought we could come in and play zone. Every time we went zone, they moved the ball, they got an open shot. And again, the key is not only got the open shot, made the open shot. And so they put us in a predicament of thinking you could play some zone and you couldn't. And so, you know, I give them all the credit. They shot 66%. I'm sure I'll watch it and see our defense wasn't real good. But again, that's an excuse. I give them credit for being really sharp in what they were doing.
If you have a question for the coach, please raise your hand. We'll get the wireless mic to you.
Steve, you guys had several early turnovers that seemed to put you in a hole. Was anything going on in that early period that you saw?
Well, I think anytime you bring you know, and I've said this, everybody acts like I got a veteran team. I've got 4 sophomores out there, and I've got a whole team of guys that have never walked into this kind of environment. And, you know, it doesn't matter how many times I've walked into these environments, they haven't. And they showed that. And it's why you go do this. If you don't take anything out of this as a player and a coach, well, then you shouldn't go to these experiences. The easiest thing is don't go play these games. Well, again, I like my team. And yet I know I'm still dealing with a very young group of guys that, you know, doesn't have a leader, doesn't have all the things you need to go into an environment like this and have an opportunity. And so, you know, but I also know I'm going to go watch it and take some really good things we did at times. And, you know, I think it was a situation for us. We got anxious early. We turned it over some early. That got them comfortable. And then when they got comfortable, then they really executed.
We're having a technical issue with the wireless microphones. If you have a question, go ahead and ask a question. Please don't have to do it loudly, so make sure that Coach and folks can hear. Question for the coach. Jerry, go ahead.
Coach?
Go ahead.
Okay. Knox, he seemed very versatile in how he scored different spots on the floor, posting up and shots. How much more difficult is a guy to guard when he can do it in different spots?
Well, he again, and I think everyone's been waiting for him to have a game like that. And I think he's really hard to guard because you want to come on and shoot the gap on that pin down, and yet when we started shooting the gap, then he started coming underneath and posting us. And again, that's a credit to him. He's starting to figure out, okay, people are going to do this. How do I adjust? And there's no question, you know. And then the fact that when you do close him hard, he can put it on the floor and gets to his little floater and he knocks that down. And so it creates a whole different environment.
What do you think of Othyus? It seemed like he, you know, competed around the basket pretty well for you.
Well, and I thought both the big kids, I thought when I put him and Robinson out there together was when we got a little momentum going and felt like we could rebound the basketball with them. But I like my team. I don't like the result today, but I knew what we were walking into. And so you bring your team to this environment to go, this is reality. And now how hard will you work to change that so that if you get this opportunity again, that you'll be better for it. And so, no, I thought, we had a lot of good things there in the second half, and we got some good offense going, and it'll be things we can build on.
Coach, is that more what you need out of Dixon? More old school Dixon in the second half, going to the rim?
Well, I thought he finally settled down. I thought early he was anxious. I thought he wasn't sure, and then in the second half he started driving the ball and getting to the free throw line. He didn't make his free throws, but again, those are things that, for all the negative you can take out of a game, you've got to go find positives, and I think that's things these guys will be able to watch and see that we can do that against anybody.
They've got the microphone back.
Oh. Steve, Coach Cal has had a concern about when they get a lead, putting the opponent down, burying him, as they say. How well do you think they stuck to business as the second half unfolded?
Well, pretty well. Yeah. I didn't think the game was ever going to get over. But you know what? Again, and that's what I kept telling our guys, because I know that's something he's been on them about, and so I felt like they did. They kept coming down, and when we took transition away, then when he got them in the set he wanted them, they really executed it. And so, as he's been talking about, that's the growth of a young team, and that's things I'm going to take back and show my young group of how it's got to be.